July 13th. I'm going to call the Thursday, July 13th, 2023 special meeting of the Parks, Arts, Recreation, and Cultural Arts, and according to ordinance number 2023-493, we are actually the Parks, Arts, Recreation, and Cultural Commission now. Congratulations, Carolyn. Welcome. So I've called the meeting to order. I'm going to look to Manny. Do you want to take a
yes. It looks like we have a quorum. We have all the members of the two merging commissions here, except for two. With that, we have eight commissioners here.
I see we have a pledge of allegiance, which normally we didn't do, but I'm gonna. Tara, do you want to lead it? Sure. Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
So I'm going to look out to the crowd and ask if there are any public comments on items not on the agenda. And I don't see any hands going up.
But it might be,
Nothing online.
No,
We have
nothing online.
one attendee, but no request
Okay.
to speak
Okay.
at this point.
So, and we did get from Casey that one person sent a message to the commission. I hope we've all read.
yes.
Okay. Before we go into the actual agenda, I'm going to turn to Manny. And for some of the commissioners who don't know what's happened, could you give an explanation first?
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. I'm going to try to summarize as best as possible. So the council addressed rearranging or resetting some of the commissions, and they've made some changes as far as the liaisons and the areas of staff within the city that oversee those commissions, including combining two of the commissions to reduce the number of commissions. And that is the two commissions that we're seeing here being combined. Parks and Recreation Commission and the Public Arts Commission. So in there, council's decision was to bring those two commissions together. They have some, from what I heard, there's some overlap with that. And me being kind of involved in both of those commissions at some point, Parks and Recreation, as well as the Public Art Commission, who was handled by Recreation at some point. I see their point in what of the overlap. And as we go on through the year as an entire commission, I'm sure we'll see more of that. So it was their decision to bring the two commissions together. At the time of the merge, we had 4 commissioners on the Parks and Recreation Commission of the 7, and I believe we had 6 commissioners of the arts of the 7, if I'm not mistaken. So currently that brings this new PARC commission to 10, if I did my math right. Okay, so this commission will function with the 7 seats as 10 commissioners until we bring it down to 7 through normal process of terming out, of not requesting a reinstatement as a commissioner as we go forward. The first appointment period, all the appointment periods now for this commission will be in September, with their first commission meeting for all new commissioners being the October meeting. So that's the biggest change right now, is the combining of the two commissions. So with the 10 commissioners, we will go forward until the September transition, which will transition our meetings in October. Okay, and all the appointments will happen in September from now going forward annually. And as we go forward, we'll talk about how we rearrange things. I'm not sure. I read as much background on the Public Arts Commission as I could, but I wasn't sure when did the elections of the chair and stuff like that.
Usually October.
Yeah, so now we'll be doing that now in October, because that was new to Parks and Rec Commission. We used to do it in like April, I think it was. So But that's when the appointments would happen, and they had the two per year. So that's what will happen with the commission. Now, there were other changes to other commissions. Some of the commissions were reduced to 5 members. This is not one of them. We're sticking at 7. Once we get to 7, we will hold at 7 there. Hopefully it'll be good to get a full commission all the time with both of the commissions, as neither one of those 2 commissions at the time of combining them were full. So the only other things that I put on my list of changes with those commissions are, we will, first of all, since it's a combined commission, there was 2 different meeting days with the 2 separate commissions. So on our agenda today, we will discuss that of selecting a meeting date. There are some parameters to that I've discussed with the city manager, and actually came to topic, and I think some of you may have been at the meeting on Tuesday, came to topic with, we don't want to conflict with certain other council meetings and certain other commissions. So with that, we will bring that into the discussion. So we still need to choose the day. That hasn't been chosen. What has been, as part of the commissioner's handbook amendments that they've had, is one of the things is these commissions now will not meet 12 times. They will not meet 12 times a year. They will meet 10 times a year. No meetings in July, which we're violating that. Not a violation of
But it's a special meeting.
a special meeting, exactly. No regular meetings will happen in July and December. So it'll be 10 meetings a year, 10 regular meetings a year, is what the commission is pledged with. Same schedule, though, it's not more than once a month, regular meetings. And I believe that was the extent there of the changes. There were some other things that were discussed with council as far as the biggest thing on Tuesday was the meeting schedule. So what day? So, but that's still up for discussion, and I can give you as much information as I have at my disposal for the commissions that we liaison in our department, as well as council and the major commissions that we don't want to conflict with. So, are there any questions outside of what I've explained with the combination? Okay, so some terms will come to an end. Some of your partial terms, and there's now that there's 10 of you, it's hard to remember it, but some of them were partial terms that will come to an end. So you'll be some of you will have the ability to reapply, and some of you, I don't think many of you will be termed out, and some of you will just continue your current term that you're on. Or your current term is ended. So we will get information on that from the city clerk in the next month, and then we'll get that information. You will probably get contacted directly from them. So, and then we'll go on with the process, as I'll explain once we get to selecting or how we're selected chair. It'll be more of an explanation of what we're proposing that I spoke to. I've met with the chairs for the next couple of months, and then I'll tell you more about the regular process that we go through to select a chair going forward. Any further questions? Yes.
Do we have a city council liaison?
Yeah, oh, that's actually a good question. There is a couple of things that they'll be talking about at their August 22nd meeting and regarding the commissions. One of those things is they are going to, I guess I can say revisit or at least visit the topic of subcommittees within commissions. So I don't know exactly what the parameters are when that meeting schedule gets posted. I think you could probably read more details about that. And I think it's going to be a special meeting. Yeah, I think it's a special meeting before a study session. Sorry, study session.
Does that means it'll be open to the public?
Yes, it should be. So I'm not sure exactly how they're going to post, but I'm pretty sure that's what I heard. It's going to be a study session regarding the commission subcommittees, which will happen before the regular meeting. And with that, in that meeting, they'll also discuss the council liaisons. So there's nothing decided right now. Sure.
Any more questions?
Thank you.
No? Okay. I'm going to do some changes to the agenda, and I hope as I talk to my Max, if you can't hear me, just let me know. I'll try and yell a little louder. I thought it would be nice if we did introductions before we okayed meeting minutes, just because some people are looking at other meetings on before, and we all are. And then I was thinking of moving the selection of the chair and vice chair to the end, so that way hopefully we'll know each other a little bit better and, you know, be able to vote accordingly. With that thought, I'm gonna go ahead and say, I'll go ahead and introduce myself. And do we have any, before I do that, do we have any questions from the public on that particular topic? No, okay. So my name is Monica Waldman. I've been on the Public Arts Commission since I think it was 2015. I started my life as a software engineer and now I'm a full-time artist and I was just there to get a little bit better, but it's not quite as fulfilling. So, and it's been a great group of people to work with on my commission. So I hope as there's one commission, it's the same. And I'll turn.
I'm Terry Couture and I've been on the Arts Commission for just about a year. And I'm excited to be on the Park Art, Recreation and Cultural Arts because I'm a huge gardener. So I'm looking forward to it.
My name is Jenna Moore. I was also part of the Arts Commission, former Arts Commission, for about a year and a half. I've been a resident of Los Altos for over 30 years, and I have a background in real estate and interior design.
I guess we'll kind of go all the way around.
My name's Yang Ye. I've been on parks since, I don't know, man, it was 2017.
18, 17, yeah, something like that.
I was chair before. I was born and raised in Los Altos. So never went to school here. And yeah, I think parks is great. We're easy to get along with. So it should be easy to do.
Hi, my name is Cindy Wang. I've been on the commission since 2020, so in COVID edition to the commission. New to the city, moved here in 2020.
I'm Janet Corrigan, and I've been on the Arts Commission and joined it because I love art and consider myself an artist, although you might not consider me one. And my background is legal, and also I have some experience working with nonprofits and grant writing and that kind of stuff. So I was hoping to use that in connection with art. Teresa.
Teresa Morris. I've been on Park for a while and I can't remember how long, but I did a half term for somebody and then started a new term. So I think it's about 4 years probably now. I feel like I hit the jackpot that we're combined. So I'm looking forward to working on it because art was one of my chosen commissions to apply for, but I sort of went, oh yeah, I'll do art. I have background working with families and children, and I really cherish working with families and children when I volunteer with the city and try to do that a lot. I also have a background in running an art cooperative for many years. So I am passionate about art, and I had a restaurant. When I had the restaurant, I had rotating art shows within my restaurant, and I did that monthly and hosted receptions and gave every bit we made to the artists and take a cut. So for me, artists are important in the world and I support them greatly. So I'm excited about that. And I think parks are phenomenal for human health.
My name is Lucy. I've been in Los Altos 9 years. I was trained as a scientist in plant ecology, so I'm very happy to be with the parks and arts. And I changed and became a full-time artist. So I treasure both sections and love both fields and can use both and enjoy them. And I've been on the art commission for about, I think with you, Jenna, I think about a year and a half. I'm not exactly with Terry. And I love both fields. So I'm very happy we've joined teams. And I look forward to.
Thank you. If I might introduce myself. Yeah, so Manny Hernandez. I am the Parks and Recreation Community Services Director here for the city of Los Altos. I will be your liaison for this commission. And a little bit about my background. I've worked in the Bay Area since 1999 here in Parks, Recreation, Maintenance, and Fleet over my career. And in that time, I've been the liaison to Parks and Recreation Commission here in Los Altos, but I've also been the liaison for the Arts and Culture Commission in a different city as well, Foster City. So, so with that, I do have some knowledge of the Arts and Culture Commission that we had that focused on the two areas of art being art installations as well as cultural arts programming. So we did have a budget to run cultural arts programming. So I'm looking forward now to actually integrating the cultural arts programming with the actual installation with parks and with parks building. So definitely a good opportunity for all of us, I think. So welcome.
And then, if I may speak for Teresa, which this might be the only time I ever get to do it, I'm gonna say thank you for everybody that's sticking through this, and I know that, it's a big change, but, you know, I think we both appreciate that people are sticking around and trying to do good things for the city, so. And then I will never hopefully speak for you again.
So just to identify the other two commissioners that could not be here, so if the chairs of each commission, can you say the names of the?
Valdez is not with us tonight, and I think that's her only.
That's the only one.
And we have Donna Tafik, who's not here
Donna,
tonight.
okay. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll go on to okaying meeting minutes, and before we do that, I know that it's a little strange that we're asking people to okay meeting minutes for meetings they may not have attended. So what I'm gonna ask, Teresa, do you want to start with the meeting minutes from your last meeting? We are allowed to okay meeting minutes even if we weren't there. So Teresa, do you want to just ask your fellow commissioners if they're okay or not okay the meeting?
Commissioner Wang and Yang, did you get a chance to read them and do you have any concerns?
No, I didn't read them.
Okay. Okay, so no concerns. Okay, there was only one thing and it was a typo that I came across. Everything else looked fine.
Great, so the commissioners seem okay with the
So
minutes that are submitted.
we will defer to you, and I will say I agree. So like give at least a quorum, well, we need actually more than a per quorum, so.
Yeah, so I'll need at least, with the 10 person, we'll need at least six to vote in the.
You just want to say the typo, so I can.
Oh,
add
sorry.
it on.
Yes,
Yeah.
so the typo is at the bottom of the minutes and it is instead of a semicolon, which it is now, it needs to be a colon in the time that we adjourned. That's all.
Okay,
I mean, it's really.
absolute typo then.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's all it is, just a little tiny typo, but I know we have a history or.
What was the meeting? I don't even remember.
It was in February, I think it was, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, no one's gonna remember the minutes, but it was pretty straightforward.
So I'll take roll call and calling the Parks and Rec commissioners, former Parks and Rec commissioners first. Commissioner Ye?
Yeah.
Commissioner White?
Yeah.
And Commissioner Morse?
Yeah.
Okay, and can we just go through Commissioner Waldman?
Sure, yeah.
Commissioner Cortier?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Yes.
Commissioner Corrigan? And I'm sorry, I did not get your last name.
Jen Jijian,
I'm sorry,
Jen Jijian,
Jen again.
just like it's written.
Okay, all right, and can I get yours, yes or no? Yes. Okay. That passes unanimously for Parks and Recreation Commission minutes.
And then for public arts, last set of meeting minutes, I was okay with it, and I turned to Terry, who always seconds.
I second the motion to approve the minutes for public arts from 5/25/23.
Okay, great. Commissioner Waldman?
Yes.
Yes. Commissioner Cortier?
Yes.
Yes. Commissioner Moore?
Yes.
Commissioner Corrigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jenjian?
Yes.
Commissioner Ye?
Yes.
Commissioner Wang? And Commissioner Morse?
Yes.
Approved unanimously.
All right, next up, the powers and duties of the commission. I think you touched on it, but do you want, Manny, do you want to cover anything else on that?
Yes, if I can, let me bring up my report here. So at the June 13th, adopted, okay, so at the June 13th meeting of the city council, they adopted the ordinance, and this may explain some other things too when I read this. Ordinance to amend chapter 2.08 pertaining to city commissions, and that was the first reading of that one. The amendment created the Parks, Arts, Recreation, Culture Commission and updated the powers and duties of the commission.
Cultural Commission.
Yes, cultural commission. Cultural commission, yeah. So with those, I just want to, I had put it in the report, just a few of the section, or just the section with Parks, Arts and Recreation and Cultural Arts Commission we'll submit an annual report to City Council, providing an update on the direction and changes of this commission. Second one would be to review and advise on programs, activities, and resources designed to provide for, regulate, and direct the future growth and development of parks facilities, recreation programming, as well as to manage the public outdoor sculpture loan program. The commission will conduct sculpture searches, evaluate and recommend sculptures, identify sculpture locations, and work with staff on placement and maintenance of sculptures. And annually review the inventory of art in public places and advise the city on matters pertaining to the maintenance, placement, alteration, sale, transfer, ownership, and acceptance or refusal of donations of art in public places. This commission will always serve as a forum for community input and engagement, as well as performing other tasks as assigned by City Council. This is an advisory committee to City Council, and thank you for doing that. As a volunteer for the time and the late evenings that we'll have meetings. So with that, I just wanted to cover all that. Are there any questions? One thing that I will mention in the forming of this commission of bringing them together, we had public art as defined by art installations and public art, and we had the Parks and Recreation Commission. The reason we have now the cultural arts aspect of it is somewhat, I will take the blame for that one. I wanted to bring that in as well, because I think that ties the two areas together. So with that, I think it's going to be great. But do you have any questions as far as the powers and duties of this commission? Okay. One thing that I will mention that I'm not sure that I know the former public art commissioners understand, but now that the Parks and Recreation Commissioner is coming in, there is, which I'll go over in a second, but there is funding for public art, and that was used for, I believe, to this point, installations in the past by the Public Arts Commission. So there is some funding sources. There's a funding source there. So I can talk more about it when we get to that item, just to give a quick review. So just so they know, because the former Parks and Rec Commission did not have any kind of funding to do things. They worked as advisory to council for programs and projects that our department did. So yes.
I do have a question.
Yes.
Would you mind elaborating just really briefly on like cultural arts, like what the expectation is there?
Sure.
Okay.
So as the ordinance that I included as a link on the agenda, as that reads, is the cultural arts has an art component. So what we've done in the past, or what other agencies have done in the cultural arts and the arts component, is to actually have to utilize those certain fundings for some of the art installations that may be temporary through programming. Okay, so such as a Polynesian festival, a Dia de los Muertos event, a Chinese New Year, so a Lunar New Year moon festival, things like that. So we're going to look for ways to integrate the cultural programs in some way, and that was a goal of Parks and Recreation anyway, but also to bring the artistic aspect too. So many of those types of programs, there's actually art displays and art performances and stuff like that as
So
well.
I think we have to be very careful, because we do have an art general plan that was approved by City Council that says no political and no religious arts. So we have to work within those guidelines, and also mentioning that because we have people who are not part of the Public Arts Commission prior to this in the room. So
Yes, we will definitely be very aware of what that is. Okay. All right, and then just to the benefit of the Public Arts Commission, There is funding for park facilities through the city. There is funding that is termed Park in Lieu. And that funding is an in lieu fund that's created from development for park open space, either acquisition, development, or improvements. So that one, though, is mostly utilized through the council with the advisement of, as the programs come to this Commission of Parks and Recreation, it will be coming to all of you now. So you'll be seeing all of that. And just recently, we had the money allocated by council recently for a number of projects. And as we start doing those projects will come in front of this commission for your recommendation to council before the projects are approved. The money is just allocated. It's not that the money's approved for those projects.
So Manny, I'm gonna ask a question.
Sure.
I know that the Park Commission, Park and Rec Commission has not met for a while. And yet there was, I went to council that there were a number of things for Park and Lieu. So where did the things that were voted on by city council, where did they come from?
Previous Park and Recreation Commission items, as well as council-driven items, as well as staff-driven items. So these are, in essence, that money's prepared to be spent on that, but the projects themselves, to make this clear, because a lot of people didn't understand, the projects themselves have not come, not all of them have come to the commission yet. So they will be coming to you, and they have not officially been approved as projects yet. Okay, so the funding, all they did was they said, yes, these are good projects. Go ahead, you can use that amount of money for those projects. That's what council said, essentially. So I
So
just want to sum that up.
it's not written in stone that they will happen.
Nope.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Not to say that they're about projects, but I know that Park and Rec has not met for a while, so.
Yes.
Two questions. There's an in lieu part of money that goes to the art commission too, correct? That's what
I believe that's how they build up their fund. Yes.
Okay, and then I heard you say that the money is used for maintenance for art, but when I was reading it, I thought,
No,
okay.
I didn't believe, I'm sorry if I said maintenance, I apologize. I don't remember saying maintenance.
I tried to read the handbook as much as I could. Okay, and then for us, for the page that you wrote up about our new duties and
Yes.
tasks, we'll get to our work plans, but what I was trying to figure out from what I was reading is this been changing what we've been doing as far as like that we've had pop-ups and that we have, is that going to change? Are we not going to be allowed to do things like that with?
No, nothing of that. This is just, as you can read it too, it's very general too. It's very general too. So we'll get down to the specifics and Parks and Recreation Commission, as it used to function. They did a lot of recommendations to staff, and staff were able to do at a very, much lower level projects. We were able to just implement those things. But yeah, going forward, yeah, it's not gonna change.
Okay, good. All right. Clarify.
Anyone else have any questions? All right, one of the more exciting topics of the night, meeting schedule. We're here on a Thursday, second Thursday of the month. I understand that Park and Rec met the second Wednesday of the month. Am I correct on that? And we met the fourth Thursday of the month. We didn't meet in November for the Thanksgiving. We actually met in December instead. I'm gonna let Manny.
Can I introduce this one?
Yes.
Yes,
Because
because there's-
you would be the right person to run this part.
There's some parameters to this. Did I write a report for this one?
Well,
Yes, I did.
it's in here. It's in this part.
Yes, yes. So basically, I've summarized exactly what Chair Waldman said, but the Parks and Recreation Commission, or Park Commission, will discuss the best day of the month and time to hold it. The second and fourth Tuesdays and first Thursday of the month should be avoided. This is by recommendation for conflicts with respectively city council meetings, scheduled regular city council meetings, and planning commission meetings. So the Tuesdays and those Thursdays, the first and third Thursdays. So I think it would be in the best interest to avoid those. So people interested, especially members of this commission that might be interested in going to the planning commission, or council meetings where they actually make the decisions at that point, not just advising commission, they would want to attend those. So I think those are the main parameters. The only other thing that I will interject on is I would probably want to look up, which I could probably do on the fly, look up to make sure that we don't have double, because there are two other commissions that my department handles. I just don't want to interfere with those. However, I think it's very unlikely because one of them is a senior commission. They meet at 3:30. I don't think they're going to be interested in meeting at 3:30. And the youth commission, which is still negotiable if we overlap. I would prefer not to though, but I'm not sure where that's gonna fall. I'd have to look that up, but we can talk now.
Quick question. So given what you just said, so it sounds like the Public Arts Commission met on the fourth Thursday of every month. So that sounds like it possibly might work with the parameters that are here. And subject to senior commission, new commission, and whatever other, yeah, okay.
And wouldn't the Wednesday still continue to work?
So Wednesdays would continue to work as well.
Okay, so we're down to like, basically, if we stick to
Pick
what
one
we
of the
have,
two.
we can pick
Which Wednesdays did you meet?
the second Wednesday. And we met at 7 PM,
That's
but,
it.
yeah.
And just so you guys know, our meetings go long.
We met at 5
Be
o'clock. I
ready for that.
suggest let's push it earlier.
Yeah, we can push it earlier, then we don't have to stay up till midnight.
But we have people who work.
If you push it early, it'll still go end at midnight. You'll just be here longer.
What day are we talking about? Wednesday or Thursday?
We need to decide on what day we work.
Wednesday or Thursday, I believe, are available right now. It wouldn't conflict with anything that I.
Or Wednesday, because on Thursdays are times when you can actually go do something. Okay, or travel.
So
No, Wednesday.
for those of us who have jobs and have to be up early, I would prefer Thursday, and I think, you know, those of us on the Public Arts Commission, I think Thursday worked really well for us.
Works better for me too. Wednesday, we have opera. Umbrella season comes.
I'll vote with the majority. I just don't want to start at 7.
I do want to add not to be contrary to what you're saying, Young, but we've been ending our meetings by 8:39 has been the latest. It's when there's something controversial,
Yeah.
we end up late, so.
Well, that's always gonna
Discussion
happen.
And you have a lot of people.
Or bocce ball or whatever they
So,
are.
so
Right,
if
so
I may,
we've had hot topics, we've had late meetings, but it isn't every meeting.
Okay, good, because
Sure.
we canceled every meeting.
yeah, it is. If I might, Sharon. If I might.
Go ahead, go
Okay.
ahead.
So for the length of the, I kind of have some familiarity with the Parks and Recreation Commission schedules, but when you had long meetings, wasn't it because you had a lot of agenda items, plus you included controversial items? Because what I'm thinking is, I mean, I'm just gonna put out here what I think I'd like to see is, I would like to see us start earlier and end earlier and manage the agenda so that we don't have staff and all of us up at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, midnight. I mean, I think if we have a well-managed agenda, which Monica has been able to do with the Public Arts Commission, because we have had some issues there. I think in an ideal world, we would not have meetings that go past 8 o'clock.
That would be great.
Okay,
We should meet at 6.
what happened?
Right, I mean, I would say we were meeting at 5. We were meeting at 5 and we, in some cases, were done by 6. Because it was a very well-managed agenda.
That's not happening.
Well, I'm just sharing what we did.
Right, and that's great.
I'm not saying,
So that's
I'm
great.
not arguing, I'm just saying that that's what we did and that would be an ideal, and wouldn't it be nice if we could role model efficient meetings and not subject staff and the public, by the way, to lengthy meetings.
So
If it's late in
who
the night.
cannot make 5 o'clock? Okay,
What
well,
about
that's
6?
I could probably do 6, but I think, yeah, if Cindy has something, here's the deal. We may be of the age and the ability to meet earlier, but if we, as we move forward and we bring more commissioners in, it might be very restrictive for people who have a job to be here by.
it's only
Please,
once.
yeah, let me,
Only once a month.
if I may though, one thing that I have been advised on too, that being with the Parks and Recreation Commission combining with the Public Arts did not have as many controversial and much
Correct.
desired things to come to for the public. So to make it easy on the public, I've been advised that it would probably be in the best interest of the public not to meet at 5. Not saying 6 is out of it, that's fine, but 5 is a little tough for the public to make. So that may be something that
Six.
I believe 6 would probably be okay.
We normally meet at 7. So but here's the thing though, is that if we started at 5:30 and there was a controversial item, you can push that up later in the agenda. But then you have people who, you know, they have kids and they want to come early and they don't want to come at 7 or 8 o'clock at night during dinner or whatever. I feel like you didn't give them more of a choice.
Just let's interject that. Again, these meetings aren't for us, they're for the public. So the public can't show up at 5. Okay, a lot of them are working, they have kids that eat dinner. They don't typically show up at 6 either. They tend to show up later after dinner, after the kids are down. Again, these meetings are not for us, they're for the public. And having it early because it's convenient for us is not really a good reason. Okay, so the public wants to show up and on these controversial topics, they show up for the entire meeting. Okay, and it's hard to time it correctly. And whether we have 5 agenda items or 1, these things go long. Okay, people get fired up, and especially because the concern is their neighborhoods. So if we could start early and just kind of get them mad at us, it's fine. I mean, I don't
So
care.
when there's study sessions at city council, they start at 5 or 6, people show up.
Understood.
So maybe I don't know. I just think that if it's very controversial and it stays till midnight, it's gonna be very difficult to handle the whole thing. The agenda is just gonna get wrecked. People are gonna be tired. The public's gonna be tired.
I think people get more inflamed the more tired they get.
Yeah. The longer it goes.
I like the idea of putting the controversial items towards the end of the agenda so that you start out with more of the light stuff and then people who can't make it as early come later. I will say that I felt like 6 was early. So when we agreed on 6, I went, 6 is kind of early, but okay, let's do 6. Because 5 felt really, you know, like just not the best way to serve the public for us meeting. So those were my thoughts when we were setting up the 6 p.m. So it's not like I'm going, yeah, it's gotta be 6, but I understand the 7 p.m. because you guys normally meet earlier.
How about 6:30 then? Let's do the idea of split.
I prefer,
I think
that's my vote.
And did you?
I'm not 5, but I'll
Can you
settle
put
for 6.
Can you?
I should go down.
Well, I'm not. I'll just be waiting.
The other thing too is that, you know, we could try it out and if it's not working, we could revisit it, right?
I believe you can, yes.
Can you eat in the meeting? Because I'm gonna be bringing Jack in the Box if we meet. So.
Yeah, I mean, city council sometimes is still eating at the meetings, and I know financial eats at the meetings. I'm trying to remember who else I've seen eat, because I go to a lot of meetings. Planning eats. Those are the only ones I go to.
As long as you don't chew with your mouth open.
We'll be meeting here too. We'll be meeting up here, not at the council chambers. So whether it's this room or not, I'm not
This is a
sure,
nice-
but it'll be one of the rooms here.
This is actually a nicer setup.
Then the council chambers. they
Yeah,
still
the
don't have
council
anyone?
chambers, they don't, it doesn't, I can't hear, it's just.
And does staff have an opinion on, because you guys get the worst of it.
The biggest thing is we're looking for the public's interest, and it would have to be a minimum early time of 6 p.m. That's the main thing that I'm looking for. Whether it's Wednesdays or Thursdays, I have to be honest with you, I would be biased because my schedule for the year has been set for Wednesdays already. So I would have to adjust my schedule. It's Thursdays isn't gonna interfere with anything else except the
What other ones do you do?
library commission, but we're not liaisoning the library anymore. But if you pick what is it, is the
First
first Thursday?
Thursday.
First Thursday will be a
You can't do it
conflict.
because that's library.
Is well, no, we can do it because the library commission is gonna be liaison out of City Hall now.
Oh, God.
But remember, some of those, that library topics may overlap with some of the
Yeah, they will.
interests with this commission.
Uh-huh.
So you might wanna talk about things with the.
I was
library
thinking
commission.
second Thursday, but That's what I wrote down.
I can't do the second. I have another meeting. Can we do the third?
No.
No, can't do the third.
The fourth?
That's city
We're
council.
gonna run into Thanksgiving on
How about the
something.
fourth?
That's the problem with that's the
Well,
problem
that's
with
what we used to
Thursdays.
do, is we didn't meet in November, but we met in December. They made an exception for our commission.
And we can, once you cancel that November meeting, if you do the fourth Thursday, you cancel that meeting and make a special meeting.
you
It's
always
either
have a
December
second.
or the week before.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
If we can maybe break this into two pieces and do our date or our time, and then we can
Yeah.
figure it out. And I would like to add that Commissioner Valadez is with us, that she said, as similar to what Mandy just said, she booked out and calls this sacred time on Wednesdays. And so she has this for years in advance for Wednesday. So I know her vote would be Wednesday. I have some flexibility on whether it is. The only other thing I would add though is if people like to travel, and you would know better than I, Thursdays makes it a little hard, but as Commissioner Couture said, it's one time a month, so.
Again, the general public in our town works in tech, and a lot of tech works from home, and working from home is Mondays and Fridays are off. So effectively, Thursday night is a Friday night for a lot of these meetings. And they may not want to be here to, on a Friday night.
If they care enough about a certain topic.
They'll come
Or they can call in, from
They can
wherever they
do,
are.
yeah.
Again, what's convenient for the public is
They'll
all.
call in.
Jenna was, Wednesday, I think was problematic for you.
I cannot do the first Wednesdays of the month.
Yeah.
I have PTO meetings, but
That's the first Wednesday.
yeah, I just want to be clear, I can't negotiate that.
Okay.
Maybe we should do like do we need to decide tonight? Because maybe I could create like a survey, like a survey monkey or something, we could all select which day, I don't know, and then
I
pick
think
the
we can-
majority.
I think we can do it today.
Okay,
That's my opinion.
okay. Well, because I know we're missing people, so just in the interest of,
So who
Validating
cannot
the
who cannot do Wednesday?
I can't do the first Wednesday.
We're not doing the first Wednesday.
Okay,
Well, I think just to narrow that, help you a little bit, narrow it down, maybe we just say it's the same Wednesday, it's the second.
Second Wednesday.
So to narrow down, who cannot do the second Wednesday, you might want to ask.
I can't make it here in time.
I might started at 7. Sorry, I just had to do that.
That was good. My preference is, as you say, 6 o'clock Thursdays, for Thursday, and just, because the majority of us have been meeting on Thursdays, we've got that time blocked out. And I think we've got people who are terming out, so.
Can we alternate each month? It was suggested, I'm just throwing it out, it was mentioned.
So half the commission show up each month.
do we want to try a different day? Do we want to try Monday? Does that work for people?
Are Mondays available? And is that any good for staff?
You run into holidays.
It's available, but
Yeah.
you're gonna hit holidays and vacations a lot on the long weekends. That's probably Mondays and Fridays.
What's wrong with the fourth Thursday?
It doesn't work for some of our commissioners.
And there's Thanksgiving.
Which we've lived with for 10, 15 years.
But we can work around it.
So
So
I think we have an issue here that we have, one day or the other doesn't work. Any chance of any Tuesdays that might work?
You could probably squeeze that in, and of course, we'd have to ask, but I think you could probably squeeze that in on alternating Tuesdays.
There's no Tuesday meetings.
Yeah.
There has to be-
City council meeting.
you can't do the second.
Yeah, to go to those.
Second or the fourth Tuesdays, but if you get in the first or the third, a lot of times special meetings and study sessions
That's true.
are scheduled for Tuesdays.
In the month.
I mean, I have a full-time job. I can't do one of these meetings, especially if they're gonna go late. You know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and it's not feasible for me. And I thought that it was not feasible for some others. I don't know.
I think the bottom line is we're gonna have to pick a day that isn't gonna work for some people.
So our options are the first and third Tuesdays as alternatives. It would be the second and fourth Thursday. Am I right? Okay, and then we could potentially do Mondays, but I think it's a holiday issue and, okay.
Mondays are a horrible day at work.
And then we have Wednesdays, which we do now, the second, and aren't all Wednesdays available?
It's all available.
Tuesday and Thursday.
I cannot do the first Wednesday.
Okay, and so it'd be the first, second, and fourth Wednesdays.
I cannot do the first
It's not.
Wednesday.
I'm sorry, it's
I
second, third, and fourth.
So I cannot miss between.
Okay, and so we're not voting yet. We're going over what might be open for our slots. So, and then I don't think anybody wants a Monday or a Friday.
No,
Okay, right?
the public doesn't want
It's
it.
definitely not a Friday.
Okay.
Tuesday seems to be.
So why don't you go around the room and ask those?
I have a question here about this Tuesday idea. Does the city council ever do like a special meeting that will?
Oh, yeah,
That's what I was just saying, yeah.
They're different days.
That's what I was saying.
No.
Not on different days. It's always on there,
Always Tuesday.
Always Tuesday.
and it's always the,
Second and third, fourth Tuesday.
Yeah.
Next
Second and
third
fourth.
Tuesday.
does the third Tuesday work for everybody? You said yes?
I'd rather do Wednesday than Tuesday.
I can do Tuesday.
I can do Tuesday.
You can't do Tuesday?
can.
Oh,
What about Thursday? Why can't we do Thursday?
I can
We
do.
can do Tuesday, I can do Thursday.
Me too. The fourth Thursday.
Andy, did you afterwards get any other dates from our other
No, You
commissioners?
can't do
It was
Thursdays?
our only other commissioner is not here.
Right.
I travel a lot.
Yeah.
No, she preferred Wednesdays. That's the whole thing.
That's,
And-
it's tough for Thursday because I know people leave. All my clients leave. They're all gone.
It's effectively Friday night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the city doesn't even work on.
The third Tuesday, next Tuesday.
Why don't, do you want to do a vote?
Okay.
Can we do
Where are
them
we?
separately
You're
as we
doing them
propose?
separate. You're gonna pick the date for the day of the week first, and then we're gonna have a mosh pit fight over the time. Does anyone, I'm gonna make a motion that we have our meetings on Tuesdays. We figured what, the first Tuesday of the month? Third Tuesday of the month? Does anybody second that?
I'll
I
second it.
second. You have 2 seconds.
Naomi, you wanna do
Yeah, I'll leave this one. Okay. And who seconded that one? Was that Lucy?
Carrie.
Okay. Oh, very good.
Yeah, at least it's not the first Tuesday. What's a bad day for me?
Or the second then, or the third.
Yeah, let me see. Just a second before. we
Yeah, third.
complete this.
Make sure it works for you.
Well, no, I'm not concerned with it working for me. I'm worried if it works for council. Okay. I'd say let's go forward with it and forward with the vote, and if it's overruled by council, because the commission works at the pleasure of the council. Because like I said, occasionally when they have special meetings that they have to spend the whole time, they will call it on the Tuesday. And I don't.
So what's happened in the past, when if John Manzo wasn't able to make a meeting for us, he sent the representative to run the meeting, so.
Yeah, which we can do. I'm just concerned that if it's something that's
We're
needs
supposed to
be
actually be there.
discussed and the public, whether it's concerning us or not, it may concern the park next to your house or the neighborhood, whatever.
If that
You may
happens,
wanna
could
go
we
with
just move the meeting?
That we,
We could have a special meeting another day.
could be. That's what I'm thinking. Let's just go.
And
forward
we
with the
can
vote.
try it and see how it works. You know, it's not hard.
We already have Wednesdays and Thursdays that a combination of people here in the room have already done, so why don't we just vote on Wednesday or Thursday?
The motion that was seconded though is for
Yeah,
Tuesday.
we have to vote on that.
So I think the issue was that some people said Wednesday doesn't work for me, some people said Thursday doesn't work for me. But we don't know what goes on in people's lives, but they couldn't do it, but it looks like the majority of people might be able to make it on Tuesday.
Yeah, so Tuesday will be ruined every single week.
No, they're just once a month.
City council ruins
Oh,
my
okay,
Tuesdays.
okay, so Tuesday is.
Yeah, Tuesday completed. 3 of the Tuesdays are gone, right? All right, we will roll call then.
So did we say the third
Third
Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Third Tuesday, okay, just want to make
That's
sure.
what we're voting on.
That third Tuesday, I got a first from Chair Waldman. I've got a second from Commissioner Cotier. Roll call. Commissioner Jen.
It's the third
Yes.
Tuesday, right? Yes.
Yes. Okay. Commissioner Morris,
Yes.
Commissioner Corrigan.
No.
Commissioner Wang? Commissioner Ye?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Yes.
And Commissioner Cotier?
Yes.
And Commissioner Waldman?
Yes.
That was easy. It looks like it passes. It was 7, yes, 7-1, 2 not attending. So third Tuesday, looks like we're set there. And I will double check still with, council's gonna have to get the schedule, but that sounds right. Next.
All right, next we have to pick a time.
And so that way, just so you guys know, that way the public will have our agenda and everything so they can go over it on the weekend, which is good. The last thing I want is them not have enough time to look at everything.
Go ahead.
We have 2 missing commissioners. What if it doesn't work for them and then?
It was gonna fall that way.
We're gonna end up having, you know, there's 3 days in the week that we can have meetings and it's gonna not work for somebody.
So we did the vote. Is there any way then to vote on the other days, the the Wednesday or the Thursday? Or does this hold solidly?
Well, if it would have been a straw poll, it probably would have been easier to do that,
So the motion.
but that was a motion. Somebody put
Yeah.
the motion and it was seconded.
Okay.
All right.
Again, because it's something
Okay.
not gonna work. for
Now we
us.
gotta do time.
Okay.
Do we want, all right, going back 5 o'clock, everyone said, you know, public arts, we love that time. But others
I'll
would
move
say
to have it at 6 o'clock.
A second.
no. I second.
Just a second.
I
Let
have
me-
a
let me-
question. Is every meeting consensus? Okay.
When you bring 2 commissions
Okay.
together,
I know.
When dog park and what else was bad?
Basketball.
I think you guys have been on commission since we were online. Who was here when it was in public?
Oh, I was.
You, right? Okay. In ours, I was chair during that time, right before
It
COVID.
was horrible.
And we were in, if you started at 3 o'clock, it's gonna end at midnight. Start at 4 o'clock, it's gonna end at midnight on certain topics. It's just, you give them more time, whatever the speed limit is, that's what they're driving, okay? So you wanna start it early, we're gonna have a bunch of things coming up soon that are going to have a ton of people sitting there, and they're all gonna get 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and it's just gonna go, and it's gonna go.
You get 2.
And Janine has a bunch of agenda items that she wants to bring up that is gonna bring more crowds as well, so. I'm just saying, you start them early, we're gonna stay the same amount of time.
Okay.
Okay, so I have a motion by, if I'm not mistaken, I heard Commissioner Butcher,
Yes.
okay? And a second by who? Oh,
6.
for 6 PM, yes. Okay, roll call. Commissioner Waldman?
Yeah.
Commissioner Couture,
Yes.
Commissioner Moore,
I'm gonna abstain.
Commissioner Yee? Commissioner Wang? Commissioner Corrigan?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I did.
Yes.
Commissioner Morris
Yes.
and Commissioner Jen.
Yes.
Okay, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Well, as long as you guys aren't chairs, you don't have to be here right on time. Right?
Actually, that's
I have-
true if you are not in attendance.
Five.
Roll call.
5, 2, 1.
Yes,
Yeah, it's not that for roll call, you don't get,
2,
credit for being there that day.
2 opposed.
That's 5-2-1.
5, 2, 1.
You need
I
to-
gotcha.
You need to get.
Yes,
Same.
5, 2, 1. I got you. I thought you were saying 5, 2, 1.
Oh,
So it doesn't pass.
All right, so let's move it to 7 on Tuesdays then. Does anyone want to make a motion?
No.
7 P.M. on Tuesday.
A motion by Commissioner Morris.
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Morris says proposed 7 PM time. Commissioner Yee has nothing but that.
Do this term and then I'll get out.
Roll call, Commissioner Waldman,
Yeah.
Commissioner Couture,
No.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Yee,
Yes.
Commissioner Wang. Commissioner Corrigan. Commissioner Morris.
Yeah.
Commissioner Jensen. No. Is that everybody? I'm looking for another vote. 5-3.
Five to three.
So we still don't have a, no,
No,
we need
did not pass.
6:30.
Let's go. Okay, 6:30. Do I hear 6:30?
Hang on, just a minute.
Uh-oh. City council tells you you can't have Tuesdays, so.
I-
I'm just kidding.
I'm looking for, it's. I'm looking for a quorum with 10. Is it 6 or is it 5?
It would be one over the
It
majority.
has to be 6.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
When you have 7, it's 4.
At 6:30.
I'll do 6:30. You guys are just gonna have to ply me with coffee. I wake up at 4, so.
When you wake up.
Work. I have a lot of jobs.
I wake up at 5.
Yeah, she wakes up at 5
I
too.
have a little alarm clock that jumps on me.
I have no alarm clock. It just happens.
Tommy wakes up at 5.
Fine. I'll just be
All right,
cranky
Manny, what are you looking
all the
for?
Tuesdays.
Simple majority, okay, yeah, that's not, is it
I'll be cranky all the Wednesdays.
simple majority? That's not 5, right?
No, it'd be 6.
Okay, that's right, that's right.
Clear, it had to be the majority of the people attending the
No.
meeting.
No, it's the majority of the members, yeah. Okay, so nothing has passed. So,
Our day passed.
oh, I'm sorry, I'm time wise.
Okay, so may we try 6:30?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay, I'll get another pizza.
You did.
I'm proposing 6:30.
You did.
Okay, so I officially did it.
Right? 6:30 on the third Tuesday.
Okay, let's see, so who motioned, was that Commissioner Morris?
Yes, Teresa did. And I
Yeah.
seconded it.
Okay, and that's 6:30 PM.
Commissioner Lucy, can you spell your last name?
Me?
Yeah.
JANGIGIAN.
Okay, so Armenian.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so I have a motion for 6:30 from Commissioner Morris, seconded by Commissioner Courtier. Roll call, Commissioner Waldman,
Yeah.
Commissioner Courtier,
Yeah.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Yee,
Yes.
Commissioner Wang, Commissioner Corrigan. Commissioner Moore, Commissioner Morris,
Yes.
there, Commissioner Jensen, yes, 6:30 it is.
Thank God.
I'm sorry, Janet.
Not everybody's.
Oh,
Yeah, they're gonna be very unhappy about some of that.
Tuesday, 6:30. Yes. All right, that's something directed by council, 6:30 on the third Tuesdays of the month.
Manny, when do you think you'll know if Tuesdays?
I'll know probably tomorrow. I'll send an email tonight, just to make sure. And the only thing is, if it's overruled, there are no, are any other commissions meeting on Tuesday?
Oh, no, well, hang on 2 seconds, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I feel, professionally, I feel that's a good compromise, so.
No, there's nobody that meets on Tuesday. Well, none of the commissions and council does, but they're a different day.
I'll run
Yeah.
by the city managers. Okay,
And if it doesn't pass council, then do we put it on the agenda again?
we do,
Just the date? I mean, just the date.
we'll see.
We have a special meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have a special.
Because our time,
The time sounds
our
good,
time
but
passed.
it depends on the day.
Okay.
All right, we're good.
Okay.
Onward. Yay, we'll figure something out. Okay. Yeah, no, I moved them.
Oh, you moved him?
Work plan review, I'm gonna hand this over to Manny, who's included in our packet a couple, work plans.
Yes, and this is, thank you, Bill Waldman. This is just for I wanted to make sure everybody had a copy, so I printed these out.
Thank you.
And and so I will be printing the agenda still for the public that shows up. But this was a special meeting. I wanted to make sure everybody has this in front of them. So if I may request of the chairs of the previous commissions to just kind of go over and define what we have in our work plan. So Chair Morris, if you would please assist me in just kind of going over each of the projects, and you don't have to go into detail and read this word for word, but just kind of give an overview of what the Parks and Rec Commission participated in, and then Chair Waldman, would you help me as we go over yours after Chair Morris, please? Thank you.
And if I miss anything, don't fill it in, please let us know. But the first thing I think to say is we have fewer people than we did
Yes.
when we did this. Okay, so a couple people aren't with us anymore. Okay, so essentially it's sort of like the art commission work plan where we have the opportunity to meet with the public and participate in that. We volunteer within the city for different activities and events that they have. So we are asked to do that for different things. And some of the things like Family Fun Day, we have a movie in the park around Halloween, the concert, the Fabulous Fourth, things like that, that we have the opportunity to work with. Performing arts, again, it's about that volunteering but staff handles a lot of that. I have met with staff and gone over some of that. And then the other things are that for the Park Commission are things like we completed some of this, but if you look at the increased park facility and recreation program, so one of the things in our goal is to actually acquire more parkland, update the parks that we have. And so based on that, we have these subcommittees that bring more people in because it's park makes life great, parks make life better. And so that's the slogan. So we're always trying to like live up to that slogan. So based on that, it's about bringing people in. It's about how do we reach more people and how do we make the parks better for everybody. We have a lot of subcommittees. So the subcommittee for adult fitness, there's equipment here that is for adults. There's Grant Park has the senior. We are having some work done on that coming up soon. So they'll be getting air conditioning, I think.
Electricity first.
Electricity first.
The grant facilities?
They don't have electricity right now?
No, you have to upgrade the electricity to hold the load as the HVAC.
Right, okay, I remember this.
So we're gonna be doing that. So it's basically make the parks better, get people into the park, support staff with what they're doing, work with staff with making the experiences for the residents more impactful and fun. And then that's basically, am I covering it for you? Okay, all right. And then I'm working on upgrading the playgrounds too. We have a number of our playgrounds are in need of upgrading.
And if I might just put a little bit more info on that,
Yeah.
is many of the projects for upgrades too will come in front of the commission and has come in front of the previous commission, just to get input and possible advice on the finalized.
And Manny, I'm gonna ask a question about the work plans, because originally it was every, I think, first week of November that the commission went to city council to present the work plans for the next year. And city council gave feedback. We didn't do that this year. Do they plan on doing that this year? And do we think we'll have a work plan settled by that point?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what they did discuss that in brief. I'd have to go back to the meeting from Tuesday. They did talk a little bit about when those would be scheduled. I'm not sure if it has anything to do with the liaison. I'm not sure if it'll be just submission to council or it will be the meetings like they've traditionally done in the past. That's still up in the air. So I'll let council give us a final direction. I think with the waiting period between June 13th and today, that they had changed the ordinance for the commissions. Now that commission handbook, everything should be final now. So once we get that, the final version of that, I'll find out exactly when they plan to meet. It could be, since the changeover is in September, might be right after that, or maybe in the spring, I'm not sure. So I'll have to look at that and see.
But I think as a commission, it's going to take a little while to work through and digest and
Yes.
get a work plan that
Yes.
combines both groups.
Will our funds be combined or will we have separate?
Their ordinances will keep them separate.
Okay,
That's what they have to see separate.
yeah, thank you.
Unless they change something, but
Right, thank you.
I'm not city council. Just going briefly over the Public Arts Commission work plan, probably like parks, it's or what was parks, it is a little outdated. We looked in areas like community outreach. You can even see the back of our exhibit, which is a exhibit in the community center, which we refresh about once every 6 months. We make a call for art finding the community. And we have had people ask if professional artists can show, and my feeling has always been it should be from the community, but if the group as a whole wants to change that, that's fine. Had a bunch of other things that are like pop-ups that you're looking at, that you've had. There's a typo in here. It says April 2023 for the Paint a Pop project, which I think now is October. We have reserved for that. We tried to get a community arts council going, which we did. We tried to get all the different arts groups, such as our Pulsologists and the art docents together and discuss what's going on in arts in their community. Something that's still pending is a partnership grant program, which was okayed by city council, and I see that Parks was looking at doing some kind of scholarship program, so maybe there's a way to combine those two projects. And on page 13, thank you. Doing some PR outreach, trying to make sure that people know what's going on as far as art in the community. One thing we've been always wanting to do is a walking and bike tour of the art in the city. And we finally got a Gateway Art Project sculpture project going. Last meeting we had, we approved to purchase several pieces, which I sent Manny some photos and we can look at those so everyone has some background. We do
Gateway art.
Sorry?
It's Gateway art.
Gateway Art, so Gateway is an area that is prominent in the city, like you come in, like San
First and Main.
Antonio, First and Main, San Antonio and El Camino, somewhere that's like, you are in Los Altos, where we have, I don't even know what they call the things, the little
Monuments.
Monterey pine.
Monuments.
Are those called
Monument.
monuments?
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
monument planner. Yeah.
So sorry, I couldn't find that. Calls for public art. We've discussed relocating artwork, which we voted on as a commission, and I'm gonna look at Manny that John said you were the one who was gonna be moving some of the artwork that we had approved to be moved, that we've been waiting for a while on. So now we have access to getting it done. When you purchase art, it is a city-owned commodity or a city-owned asset, so you have to take care of it. So some of the funds from our public art fund get used to clean and repair art, and we've been working very hard on that. And then last item, manage Los Altos Community Center and council change the art programs. We do have our rotating art exhibit out here, and also we, in our last meeting, voted to do a call for art to paint the staircase up to city council with, put a call for art for a mural or something as you walk up to city council. So. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Anything else you wanted to add, Manny, about the work plan?
No, just that, if there doesn't have any questions, we can bring it to the commission or just give it all.
My understanding, so when you install our, need to maintain it and clean it, like who from the city does that? Oh, it's Manny.
That's one of the,
This young man,
that's one of the streamlined things that works, because there was a go-between with their liaison, which was at City Hall, which I believe was John. is he
John.
right? Yeah, so John, and then John would send me the information for the installation and then I would send it to my team to actually do the work. So now it's just gonna be a lot quicker, so we get
But
middlemen.
for maintenance, for like preservation, we hire out.
Yes.
So like some sculptures need like significant work, like repair, right? And then
Yeah, and there's
Yeah.
an organization called Preservation Arts. that
Yeah.
Stanford uses, City of Palo Alto uses, a lot of people with large art collections use, and, they come in and they do, they give you a quote and say this is what needs to be repaired. And then you look at it and say yea or nay.
yeah, and like this exhibit out here, we hang that. The commissioners do it,
Yeah.
not staff, but staff helps
That's
us.
scheduled. as
She
well.
gives us stuff
Yeah.
to.
She gives us ladders.
She's always working with the little nameplate.
Yeah.
Figure out
Egg
that's-
plate.
The best thing with the name, I walk in
She
from the
brings
hallway.
like typos, yeah.
Yeah, I walked into the hallway and say, this one fell off the wall. So she's always trying to make sure that they look good and stay on the wall.
So in situations where our like motives overlap, where it's like art and the parks, will we like split the costs, or will we kind of go by, because we have our pot, right? And then you guys have your budget, so how are we
You
gonna?
don't actually
No,
have a
we
budget.
don't have a
You
budget.
don't have a budget.
It's advisory,
So there's-
council uses. it.
Oh, so how do you guys fund like your pop-ups?
We asked if we
You charge?
We have the money to, no.
Oh, okay.
We just go through Manny and say, Manny, is this allowable? Can we afford this?
That's actually a
Oh, I
really
see.
good question. So,
Okay.
so what I can help, explain with the special events, we decided as staff decided, but I also utilize, like council does. I utilize the Parks and Rec Commission because there is certain advice that they can give, like, hey, we think we should do this program. And on an annual basis, as we set the annual budget, we will include those things if we can, if we agree that it's a good program for the community and so forth.
Okay.
So the example I'll give is many years ago, one of the commissioners had an idea, brought it to, put it on the agenda, got it on the agenda, talked about it, of movie night in the park. And all the commissioners thought it was a good idea. I thought it was a good idea. We didn't have to spend too much money on it, but regardless, we added it to the budget. It's an October thing now that we do. So that's how the commission used to work.
Okay.
So now all of us will work that way
Okay.
in that sense.
So there are parking fees, and I'm gonna look
Yeah.
at three,
That's-
that's separate, that's for
That's
things like
yeah.
purchasing or fixing equipment and such, but
That's
if I
what I
may
was
put words in the mouth of the Parks Commission or the previous Parks Commission, that they would say like, look, this area needs to be upgraded, or we need to do something, and then it would be suggested, and then perhaps city council said, yes, you can use the park in the fees.
Man, do you want to explain what park and lieu fees are to the Arts Commission?
Yeah, I can,
And
so,
maybe briefly how they can do it.
yes.
Because it's not like you can just spend them every year.
So a couple of things with the park and lieu fees. These are fees, and they are labeled, I think I labeled them right on the agenda here. Parkland dedication. Okay, so it has turned into a term of park and lieu, and people understand that because the developers are paying in lieu of building park space. So in lieu of that, if there's not a negotiation with council that they can, we will develop this and add park space, they will just pay in lieu. And so 99.9% of the time, that's what they do. And then we build up that fund so we can develop parkland, acquire parkland, or renovate parkland. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much where it ends. There's no programming involved. There's no maintenance involved, and staffing isn't involved. Other than staffing that would needed special services to renovate, acquire, or develop.
Yeah, it's almost like the
Pretty
cost
simple.
of doing business.
But
Yeah,
it's
it is.
the public art funding,
Yes, it is.
there's also
Yeah.
developer fee at the
Yeah.
1% fee, which is,
I have a
They-
question.
they have the option, sorry, I was gonna say, they have the option, they can either put art that's equivalent to the 1% fee if they're up to, I think it's 50,000, 20,000 on property or pay into the fee.
You can see how this would get abused if you're a developer, because you just put up a roll of toilet paper or something and call it.
No, we have to come back to the commission and the commission has to say.
Fees. Yeah, okay, so you guys have done that too, because for developers for parks, they've made it so it's somewhat onerous to do something like that. Okay, I got you.
Exactly. We haven't acquired any parks recently, have we?
That's the cost of an acre in Los
Yeah,
Altos.
it's ridiculous.
And there's not.
Well, don't say that.
Well, okay, fine.
I hopes.
Well, and the biggest problem we have is there's a whole bunch of other people that want it for other stuff. They don't want it for parks.
It's zoned for other stuff they're gonna build.
So I
Yeah.
looked at the link that you sent for the park and link fees, is it figured like if there's low income housing, below market rate housing, is that also like exempt as it is with, the public art fee for?
That I'd have to defer to the development services. I don't know the definition of
I don't
that.
remember.
I don't understand what pop-up activities are.
It's just a program.
It's just like your rock painting.
It's just like a one-time event.
And your rock painting. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
What popped up?
Fun pops up.
Okay.
Fine, right. All right, any other questions about?
I have a question. So we're going to continue to have two work plans. I don't know why I thought
No.
we combined.
No, I just wanted us to review the
Okay.
two work plans because the next regular meeting,
We're gonna get switched.
third
in.
Tuesday at 6:30, we're gonna start talking about the work plan. And putting-
Crazy, 'cause I thought she asked that and it was like, yeah, okay, I'm in a different meeting.
No,
Okay.
this commission needs a work plan. Just
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, just one. Thank
Yep.
God. Thank you.
At your guys' typical meetings, how many people attend?
Maybe one.
From the public?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once in a while, there's maybe 2 or 3 artists that attend that when we have this, when we have the call for art and there's sculptures, maybe the artists will attend to see if they're gonna win. And once in a while, there's somebody that calls regarding some art, some sculpture that they don't like or,
But
they.
very rarely.
Yeah,
They're very
very-
harmonious, like, and they're
Super.
quick. and-
Do you
Yeah.
have time?
We
though?
won't be taking up too much of your time.
Yeah, this is gonna be a big shift for us.
Well, it's not on my time, we're all in. the
No,
same
I know,
page.
but
It's all
Yeah,
time.
right.
So it's gonna be shot then.
We have times though where organizations
Won't be a
come, organizations within the city come and they are pushing for a certain piece to be placed in a certain spot and they come in droves, which is similar to when you guys have a hot talk. Any comments from the public and such.
was your last hot topic, what's that new ball game called?
Pickleball.
So we have things like, we have dog park, we have Halsey House, we have the pickleball stuff, we have the bocce ball, it's just whatever is, it doesn't matter what the topic is, someone wants to just sound off, so whatever it is, it's gonna come up. So it's hard to predict what it's gonna be, and there's, for some reason, I'm from here and I didn't realize all this, but some of the people don't seem to like each other, and they just go after each other on purpose and use this as the forum to do it.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's horrible.
You found any way to try to, get through those agenda items without having to stay till midnight?
no, that's the thing, is we're here as a buffer for city council, that is what we are, we're an advisory group. So we are here for that purpose of having the public be able to voice their concerns, and we convey that to city council. So the purpose of our commission is partly to be here, right, for all of that, to listen to it all.
Summarize all the complaints that
It's not even
the.
to summarize, it's just like, someone needs to be heard,
Yeah.
and city council doesn't have time, but city council meetings would be completely monopolized.
Yeah.
If we did that. So I think you guys are gonna realize that our purpose here is on some of these assignments, these people I have noticed that the commissioners have their passion projects. But a lot of it is we're here to help staff and to help council execute the plans for this city in a way where they don't get absolutely overrun by the people who need to kind of voice their concerns, which a lot of them are valid concerns.
Okay,
Okay.
I think we have to get
I
back.
think
on
we have,
track.
I think we have one more discussion item
Yeah,
here, if
that's
we can
right,
go to
yeah.
that, and I think we can have a discussion at the end.
All right. Finally. What was number 4 is now?
The check, yeah, number 4.
Someone has to do that.
So chair, vice chair, with this item, being on the agenda, it is really just to select as we go. Now, we basically have 2 more meetings before we go through the full regular
Right.
process of selecting a chair in October. So we'll have the August regular meeting and September regular meeting. So I was able to meet with the 2 chairs of the 2 previous commissions, and we came to an agreement, and I think we would probably want to, I wanted to bring this in front of the entire commission, that they wanted to co-chair. Now, I don't know, however, they can organize it's basically who's running the meeting for the next 2 meetings and being represented as the chairs, as co-chairs of this current commission. So we wanted to run it by, and if there's any motion that continues for the next 2 meetings.
I'll move that we have co-chairs. I don't know who the chair was on Parks, but, oh,
It was, yeah, I'm
Cool.
sorry, Chair Morris, and Chair Baldwin.
just because I think you guys do different stuff and we do different stuff and it'd
And
be
it's
easier
good
for you
both
all.
sides, so that
Yeah,
ease everybody in.
Okay, Commissioner Wang.
Seconded, that make it motion, go ahead.
Okay, Commissioner Wang seconded, Commissioner Couture, motion. And, do I have to roll call, or do we just do all in favor?
all in favor? Aye.
Anyone opposed? That passes unanimously. Thank you.
All right, let's go on to informational items, and because still nobody from the public, so,
Still, yes.
I'm gonna hand it over to Manny. You gave us some links to review.
Yes, just under the city municipal code, and I don't know how it came out once we posted it, it looks a little bit, the format didn't come out the way I wanted it to, but I put under city municipal code, I put the municipal code of ordinances
Yeah,
for 2 of them, chapter 3.52 for public art funding and chapter 13.24 with park land dedications, otherwise known as
Yeah.
park and loop. So please go ahead to learn more about those 2 ordinances and how the money, the in lieu money can be used. That's where you'll find that information on those 2 links. So that's why.
Manny, can I ask a question, and I'm gonna, of everybody. Do people, would it benefit somebody from the city, I don't know if it's Manny or somebody else, coming in and talking about the 2 different fees and how
No.
they work and how they're structured? Is that doable?
Yes, and actually, that's what we had in plan for, and we've done that in the past for previous commissions that I chaired. We did have either the finance department would send somebody to talk about the funding of available amounts and what the plan is going forward in the near future. And or having the public works director come in and say, look, these are the projects that we're working on under this park and loop funding. So I think we can do that for, I believe, both of them. I'm not sure who would handle other than finance, I don't know who would handle the public art funding. So I would probably defer to finance on that, but I can talk to them and see who would best to, at least, I like finance coming and explaining it because it tells, they understand how it can be used, what the schedule for usage that's currently allocated, as well as giving us what everybody wants to know, the current balances. So, and what we can do.
And can we make that a future agenda item then?
There you go. Sure.
And Manny, would you put the capital improvement plan for that?
I'm sorry?
The capital improvement, that's separate.
No, it falls kind of under park and loop, what this commission would be concerned with. We could include the capital improvement program, but you're talking about street resurfacing and stuff like that, that whole plan, which is available. Yeah, and that's the park and loop. Yeah, and that's what we're saying. The finance would have that information. So. Okay, so future agenda items. And I think that's something that we had on future agenda items as well. So, but with our,
We've been rolling it for a while, I think.
there's been some transitions and there's another transition in those departments right now, so.
On that, I know from the art side, we have money, but we would ask John, and I'm taking on John because he's not here, John Marginal. how much is there? And he'd be like, oh, you got money. It's like, well, show me the money. What's the number? Is there a way that somehow in these packets, we can find out on both sides, whether it's park and roof fees, which, and or the public arts fund, what's in there and what's been allocated in every package, just so there's no question, especially because as we see development happening constantly in our city, how much money is
Yes,
there?
absolutely. And I think, like I said, I think that's something that even the public's interested in, is the
I
balance.
mean, it's not just for us, as you keep saying, it's for the public, just so people know that.
What's your budget typically? Just give me a ballpark figure.
I think we have about 500,000 sitting in our fund.
But we didn't have anything 2 years ago.
We operated for many years, we got $10,000 a year, and 1 year we got nothing from finance because they said, oh, you guys have an ordinance where you're going to get funding, so we're just gonna cut the 10,000, and then suddenly money eventually did start
Where
showing
did that
up.
money come from?
It's a developer.
It's all
It's the
those
same-
in the
it's the same
development.
thing.
Same thing,
For
they
all-
mark the
Same
road.
thing.
All those ones on First Street,
So it's
yeah,
1% of, I
Yeah.
think it has to be, the building has to have 4 or 5, I have to go back into the ordinance, a minimum 4 to 5 units.
Oh, it's multifamily.
Multifamily.
Okay, I got, yeah.
you guys get Park and Lou with, single family,
No.
no?
I don't believe so. Once again, I think we could all go in and read and
It's
take a
in
look.
here. Yeah,
It's in-
you read it, it's in there, yeah.
So you can find out more and then we can have questions. But once again, there's some questions I have from finance too sometimes. So like, for me, my interest would be from a staff point of view is the balance.
Right.
Because I don't want to propose projects if we don't have the balance. And those balances will change, but we could explain all that when we do finally get a presentation from finance. on that.
Yeah, and the sooner the better, I think, for
Yes.
that, just so everyone has an understanding. And again, the public, so everyone has an
Okay.
understanding.
Thank you. And with that, the last two links I put down are the parks plan. So that's on our, these are both on our website. If you go to the old commissions.
I read
They
it,
are.
yeah.
Yeah, so they're still there, and as well as the art guideline documents. So those are still there too. So you can see them now. What's gonna happen, since we're on informational items, I can tell you.
Are you
Um,
merging our?
Yes,
ordinances together?
yes, well, I'm trying to figure out from John what the city clerk's office wants to do with the previous two sites. But hopefully by the next meeting, because I think we'll have time, it's the third Tuesday now. Hopefully we can have a new site set up, at least in general, and merge those two together. Now, with those documents coming either together or a link to those two sites. So I'm not sure exactly how they want to set that up, but I will get that information as soon as I can, and hopefully we can set that up sooner rather than later. I'm sorry?
A redirect. There's just a redirect.
That's what I'm thinking would be the easiest. We just create a new site for the new, for not new, but for the combined commission, and then have links to the old ones. That's what I'm hoping, but I'll talk to the city clerk.
I have a question about the plans, the documents and plans. So will we be provided a hard copy of the art guideline document, and will they be provided a hard copy of the park plan?
I just read it online.
Yeah, I think they're online. If you want a hard copy, I don't see a problem with printing one out for the commissioners. So just email
Hard copy, yeah, I mean-
email me or something, and then maybe I can set up a time you can pick it up.
Okay.
And that's fine. So one copy is not, it's not a big deal. but,
Okay.
yeah, just request it.
All right, any other informational items from staff that we need to know about?
No, not at this time. I'll set up the next meeting and we'll post up the regular meetings once I get final certification from council.
Okay, and then does anybody have any oral reports and or future agenda items? Please, if you have something.
Well, the future agenda item for sure is finance, and then I'm sorry, I didn't print out the minutes from our last meeting, but we have future agenda items on the last meeting minutes.
Yes, and I will be meeting with the co-chairs in some form, either in person or via Zoom, and we'll talk about the next meeting.
Okay.
Over future agenda. This one I did definitely, as we spoke about, wanted to focus on the commission and the organization.
And I'll just throw in that I found out from John Magino today that, our quote unquote gateway project may be on the August 22nd city council agenda, hopefully, different items that we
I
don't
hope so
know.
too.
I hope so, and I hope it's a fun job.
Art does nice.
I'll have to be there to do it on.
Are you guys responsible for all the Christmas lights and all that too?
No.
That's a village, isn't that
Village
a
Association.
village association?
So if we want to, we can, yeah, you wanna, are we done with?
Yeah,
the
we should close the meeting,
agenda?
because we didn't,
I still see no questions or anything.
because we didn't.
All right, and with that, are we, any other future agenda items? Yep, no. All of them?
Yeah, they do the potter, those
Adjourn.
pots with the
Adjourn.
plants.
Is the meeting adjourned? Okay, Commissioner,
May I hear one
oh,
thing?
before.
I think let's announce the date of our next meeting in case.
Good idea.
anybody-
Well, no, I prefer not to,
Okay, until you get.
until I
Yeah.
verify, and then I'll
Okay.
post it all.
You'll send it,
Okay,
you'll
thank
send
you.
us an email?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so, Chair, meeting adjourned.
Done.
There you go. Thank you.
It's time that we're adjourned.